member for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sometimes it can be a tongue twister, but you have done your best. Honorable Speaker, allow me to also stand on this floor at this moment to support the motion by Honorable Samuel Atandi regarding supporting and promoting local fertilizer manufacturing industries. Honorable Speaker, for many years, agriculture has been the mainstay of the people of Kenya. For many years, agriculture has been like the black gold for people of Kenya. However, Honorable Speaker, over the years, productivity has reduced considerably for various reasons. One of the reasons has been depletion of natural resources and nutrients in the soil because of overcropping, overplanting. There's also been a result of bad agricultural practices that have literally decimated the good part of the soil. Honorable Speaker, we remember very many years back, during the days of President Daniel Teacher Arap Moi, when he would lead the weekly activities or monthly activities to fix gabions, plant trees in order to manage soil erosion. So there's been a plethora of reasons that has led to soil failure and reduced productivity. It's therefore inevitable, Honorable Speaker, that in many parts in this country, commercial fertilizers, our chemical fertilizers, are becoming almost like a necessity, a requirement for you to produce any food of any value. Honorable Speaker, I come from Busia. We have not been keen consumers or major consumers of fertilizers because our soils have remained fertile and generally have been producing crops adequate to feed ourselves and retain something small for commercial purposes. But Honorable Speaker, for the last few years, that is no longer the case. Crop failure has become preeminent, and therefore it is important that we find ways and means of boosting application of interventions to improve productivity. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, again on the other side, Honorable Speaker, Kenya consumes about 700,000 metric tons of fertilizer each particular year. It is projected for us to sustain food production, to sustain our economy and population, we might have to consume about 1 billion metric tons of fertilizer the next 2 to 3 years. Our manufacturing capacity, Honorable Speaker, as it stands now, is literally minimal. It is presumed that almost 90% of the fertilizers used in this country is imported. It's imported at heavy cost in terms of foreign exchange, in terms of exported jobs, and in terms of other issues, Honorable Speaker. And that's why any attempt, Honorable Speaker, to urge the government, to urge the executive, both at the national level and the county level, to invest in production of locally produced fertilizer is laudable and should be supported wholeheartedly with all the state organs concerned with this matter. Honorable Speaker, when you speak to manufacturers, under Vision 2030, Honorable Speaker, manufacturing was supposed to account for 15% by the year 2030. As we stand here, Honorable Speaker, it's hardly 7%. That means we are lagging behind with less than 5 years to go. One of the reasons that manufacturing has failed to meet its targets is simply because the cost of production in this country is far much higher compared with even importing, even adding the punitive excise duty and other import taxes. The shelf price of many products, including fertilizers, is much cheaper when it's imported than locally produced. I therefore urge the government to look at the factors of production and look at the cost of those factors of production and work strategically to ensure that we reduce those costs of production. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, what Honorable Atandi has asked us to do or to approve or to resolve will merely go to and fill many volumes of unimplementable parliament decisions or policy decisions that cannot be implemented. We now urge, therefore, the Committee of Planning and Finance and National Planning, as well as Budget and Appropriation Committee, the National Assembly, working together with National Treasury, working together with the KIPRA and other economic think tanks to have a serious look, how can we reduce the cost of production? Honorable Speaker, our electricity costs are the highest ever in this part of the world. We cannot compete with Egypt, we can't compete with Ethiopia. Honorable Speaker, our unpredictable tax regime makes it completely difficult and impossible for any manufacturer to have a long-term view or a long-term plan on the matter, how to deal about it. Honorable Speaker, and then of our uncanny habit of cutting corners. Many products in this country, Honorable Speaker, do not meet even local standards in terms of health, in terms of standards set by Kenya Bureau of Standards, to an extent that, Honorable Speaker, whatever you produce, it might not assist as much. It's therefore important, Honorable Speaker, that all the manufacturers that choose to produce fertilizer must adhere to standards set down under the WTO, so that not only producing for the local market, but we must produce competitive products that can compete with other products all over the country. Honorable Speaker, it is also important to appreciate that these manufactured fertilizers contain chemicals which could turn out to be harmful in the long run, which also deplete the natural ingredients in the soil. Is it possible, therefore, Honorable Speaker, as we vote for production of fertilizers, can we look at natural ways of improving soil fertility? And I'm sure our universities that are agriculture-based can lead the research in this matter. We just hope and pray there is sufficient funding in research and development to enable us proceed. Honorable Speaker, this is not the first time to attempt to set up a fertilizer factory. In the year 2015, around 3rd September, the then Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who happens to be the president now, went to Eldoret with cannons and pumps and launched a local plant to manufacture fertilizers. As is typical of many of the stories that we hear in this country, it was just hot stories. We therefore urge that whoever is interested in this matter, let's now not treat Kenyans to charade or to lies, but make sure that whatever we purport to do is actually happens, Honorable Speaker. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, we have the subsidized fertilizer. First of all, the mere fact that subsidized is probably, again, a tax issue as a tax incentive in this country. It's a tax expenditure in this country. We can never continue with subsidies. Many countries in the world have done away with subsidies. We must find ways and means of producing at market price that support the economy or not. And second, final, Honorable Speaker, I also want to get the country to get out of the fixation that for food production, we are only looking at food security. We must produce for money, we must produce for export, we must produce for value addition. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the motion.
Thank you very much, Professor. Honorable members, help me to welcome students seated in the public gallery this morning. Students from